Hello writers, welcome back. Today we're going to continue learning different ways to organize our writing. So we always want to start our writing with a plan in mind. And we've learned a lot of different types of strategies for different types of writing. Today we're going to be focusing on having a plan when we are trying to write either informational text or text where we're giving a lot of details about certain topics within a bigger topic. So today we're going to be learning the strategy called starting with a table of contents. Now, if you think about a table of contents, I'm sure you've seen them before. They're usually in a textbook or some sort of informational text. So when you look at a book, maybe it's about planets. The title of the book would say planets on it, and then inside you'd see different chapters about different types of planets. You'd see a chapter about Earth, and a chapter about Mars, and a chapter about Saturn. So those are called subtopics. They're topics about something big. So you have a big idea, and then a subtopic is a smaller idea that fits inside of that big idea. So we're going to be learning how to think about our writing in a way similar to how authors of nonfiction texts organize their chapter books. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about thinking about starting with a table of contents. So like I said before, we have a topic, and that's a big idea. So that might be something like big, like planets. It's a very vague, general topic that has a ton of details that we can add to it. Within the topic, we're going to have some subtopics. So that's, like I said, things like planets like Earth, Mars, and Saturn. So those are topics that you still have a lot of facts that you could tell about them, but it's a smaller idea than the big idea of planets. So within each of the subtopics, we would have a fact. So we'd have lots of little details. So if this subtopic was Earth, some facts about it would be people live on Earth, or the Earth is covered by this amount of water and this amount of land, or the Earth is one of the only planets that has inhabitants or people that live on it. So those are some facts that would go under our subtopic. And what's nice is that these subtopics are the same as having chapters in your book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up and show you the rest of my graphic organizer. So when I'm planning writing, I would think about what's my topic? And then I'd think, well, what are some good subtopics? What are some good chapters that I could write about my big topic? And I might need to rethink and think, oh, the thing I'm thinking about is actually a subtopic of this big idea. And I can talk about this big idea, my idea of a subtopic, and then some other subtopics. So when we have our plan in mind, we have our topic and we have our subtopics, which are things that fit into that category but are a little more specific. And then we have some really specific, detailed information that are called facts. So once we have those ideas, we can create our own table of contents. So my table of contents is going to be all about my dog. This is my topic, all about my dog. So I can tell you so much about my dog. Her name's Daisy. She's so cute. I really like her. So I'm going to have different chapters about my dog Daisy. So my first chapter is going to be all about what she looks like, and some facts that could go into that chapter or subtopic could be that she's yellow, that she has short hair and floppy ears, and that her floppy ears might fall onto the ground or get stuck in her water dish when she drinks her water. Those are some facts about the subtopic of what she looks like. My second chapter might be about how she acts, what she acts like, which would be another chapter or another subtopic. So the way she acts might be she's actually really lazy. We call her Lazy Daisy. She lays around all the time. She just kind of sleeps. She's getting really old. She sometimes struggles to go up and down the stairs, and we have to help her because she's getting really old. I also could have my third chapter, or my third subtopic could be about how she's changed over time. So like I was saying, she started out and she was a little puppy and she had so much energy. She'd run all over, she'd go explore, she'd go chase deer, and now she's old and she's changed. She sleeps a lot, she lays down, she rests, she gets really out of breath when she tries to go chase something, and she doesn't go very far when she does. So that could be another chapter in my book or my story. So basically what we do is we think of a big idea topic, then we think of some subtopics, some smaller ideas that connect to that main idea, and then we think of some facts that go under each one. When we do that, we can create a table of contents, and that's going to help you plan when you write. So when I go back and I look at this table of contents, I know that my first paragraph or my first chapter is going to be all about what Daisy looks like, and I'm going to provide lots of details about that. Once I'm done, I would move on to how she acts, what she acts like, which is my second subtopic or chapter. And I'd talk all about how she acts, and then I would go to my next chapter would be about how she's changed over time. So this is a good strategy, and I really think you guys will like it. I thought we'd kind of try it once, just together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about baking. Baking is something that I really like, and I'm an expert in it. I know a lot about it. Now I picked this topic because baking is a big idea. There's a lot of things you can bake. You can bake cookies and brownies and cakes. You can cook things in the oven, or you could do some no-bake cookies and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff that I could talk about around the big topic of baking. So we remember that my topic is my big idea, which is baking. So now I'm going to write baking in my big idea spot. So I have my big idea spot, my topic, and I'm just going to write baking here. So now I have my main idea, my topic, but I have to think of some things that are a little more specific about that topic, called subtopics. These are things that could be a chapter in my book about baking. If I was writing a book all about baking, what would my chapters be? Well, I really like to bake cookies and cakes and brownies. I think those are my three main things that I like to bake. So I'm going to write those in here. So I'm going to say cookies are my first subtopic. They're something that I know a lot about, and I can add a lot of details about how I like to bake cookies, why I like to bake them, and what makes them special. My next one is going to be cakes. I really like making cakes, and they fit under the idea of baking. I wouldn't put something about cars in here because that's not related. My last subtopic or chapter might be brownies. So now that I've thought of those three subtopics, I know that I'm going to have to add some details about them. So let me think, what are some details that I could add about cookies? What's some stuff I know about cookies that could talk about baking and what I like about baking? Well, when I think about cookies, I like to think about how they're really fast to make. They're one of the fastest things. Brownies and cake, they take a little longer. Cake especially takes a really long time. But cookies, I can whip them up really fast. So I'm going to write one fact about them is that they are fast. Remember, facts are very specific. They're something that you wouldn't put as a subtopic. They're specific, they're detailed, and they only tell you one thing. I might also say that cookies are very easy to share. I can make a whole bunch really fast and I could give them out to my friends. They don't need a plate, they don't need forks or anything like that. They're not messy, they're really easy to share. My last fact might be that there's a lot of types of cookies. That's one of the reasons I like them. It's because I can make chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin, all sorts of different kinds, and it keeps a lot of variety and makes cookies fun to make. So I'm going to say lots of types. Okay, so I have some facts about cookies. Let's think of some facts about cake. Well, I told you already that cake takes a long time, but the reason it takes a long time is because you have to decorate it, and decorating it is really fun. You get to use little frosting tools and make designs, so I could say that decorating cakes is a fact about it. It's really fun to do. So I'm going to say that you can decorate them. I might also add that they do take a long time to make, so that my reader knows, okay, if I'm baking something and I don't have a lot of time, I shouldn't make cake, I should make cookies or brownies. So I'm going to say it take a long time. And then last, one thing I love about cake is I love to make cakes for people's birthdays. So I make a cake for almost all of my friends' birthdays when they come. And that's just something special that I can do and share with them. So I'm gonna say birthdays. Okay, let's move on to our last one. So last one, we're thinking about brownies and some facts about brownies. I might say that I love them because they're so chocolatey, and they're always chocolatey, and they're consistent about that. And when I want chocolate, and I want to have brownies. So I'm gonna say there's always chocolate. That's a fact about brownies that everyone likes to know. I might also say that sometimes I like to put peanut butter stuff on top with some melted chocolate, and it makes them so good. So there's lots of different types of brownies that I can make. Maybe I'll say types of brownies. I also like to make them with coconut stuff on top. That's really good too. My last fact might be that I think that they are really good when they're hot out of the oven with some ice cream on top. So I might say they're good with ice cream. So I did the hard part. I did all my planning. And what I want you to think about is how this connects to our table of contents. So this is the fun part for me, is that we thought about baking as our topic. So in our table of contents, the title of my book would be all about baking. It would be baking. Then I'd think about my 3 chapters that I have details about. I have a chapter about cookies, a chapter about cakes, and a chapter about brownies. My 3 subtopics are going to be my chapters of my book. So I would say that chapter 1 is about cookies, chapter 2 is about cakes, and chapter 3 is going to be about brownies. So I now can see that when I plan my writing, I can think about it kind of like a chapter book, where I have a big idea, the title of my book, and then I have small chapters or different subtopics that I'm going to talk about. And by doing this, it helps me organize my ideas so that I can have a plan and I can be ready to write my writing. Okay, what I'd like for you guys to do is I'd like for you to think of a topic, and I'd like for you to think of some subtopics and some details. I'd like you to put them in a graphic organizer like this, and then think about, as you do it, think about your chapters. Think about how you'd organize this writing. Can't wait to see it. Bye-bye.